All right, 25 minutes before 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It's time for News Bites. This is the portion of AM Ocala Live where Robin and I read the news. We get the news from the different news agencies that we subscribe to here at the source, WOCA, and we shorten those news stories. And we also, of course, give you the information so that you can look up the story online and see the entire story for yourself at the website of the news agency that we are reading from. The shortened version gives us an opportunity to squeeze a bunch of news into a short time period, and it gives you an opportunity to hear that news and then get on with your own life and your own news. All right, we'll take the first story from... Actually, this is from the Voice of America. Wow, I haven't used them ever, I don't think. From the Voice of America, Israel's military pounded targets in the Gaza Strip this morning after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his country should be prepared for a long conflict in the Palestinian enclave, quashing any hopes of a swift end to 22 days of fighting. Israeli aircraft, tanks, and Navy gunboats targeted symbols of Hamas control, firing on the house of Hamas Gaza leader Ismail Haniyeh before dawn this morning, causing damage but no casualties, according to Gaza's Interior Ministry. An Israeli military spokeswoman said 70 targets were struck in Gaza through the night. At least 30 people were killed in the assaults from air, land, and sea. After a night of mostly widespread attacks, Israeli tank fire hit the fuel depot of Gaza Strip's only power plant this morning, also cutting electricity to Gaza City and many other parts of the Palestinian enclave of 1.8 million people. A thick column of black smoke rose from the facility, which supplies the territory with 2/3 of its energy needs, and the fuel containers were in flames. The power plant is finished, said its director, Mohammed Al-Sharif. He said the local fire brigade was not equipped to extinguish the blaze. Hamas said its broadcast outlets Al-Aqsa TV and Al-Aqsa Radio were also targeted. Early this morning, at least 2 major explosions hit the media building, one of the tallest in Gaza, starting a fire on the roof and shaking surrounding buildings. The television station continued to broadcast, but the radio station went silent. The Abu Qadra government complex in Gaza City was badly damaged, and 2 mosques were hit as well. Residents also said 20 houses were destroyed during the night. It's a rather long story, and I did get that, by the way, from Voice of America in the website, just for your, if you want to go to it, is voanews.com. VOA as in Voice of America, voanews.com.
If passed, it will be the first time that federal law allows any medical marijuana use. This is a quote from Representative Scott Perry, a Republican in Pennsylvania, the bill's sponsor. No one should face a choice of having their child suffer or moving to Colorado and splitting up their family. We live in America, and if there's something that would make my child better and they can't get it because of the U.S. government, that's not right. The bill will land in a Congress that may be open to change. Across the country, highly sympathetic patients and a non-intoxicating product have proved a popular mix. This year alone, 11 states have passed legislation loosening regulation of cannabis strains with high cannabidiol and or minimal THC content, reported by CNN.
This one is from the Associated Press. An Alabama man has been accused of dousing his ex-girlfriend in gasoline and lighting her on fire. Jefferson County Sheriff's spokesman Randy Christian says 48-year-old Michael Kennedy was arrested yesterday afternoon on charges of domestic violence and attempted murder. Investigators have said Kennedy had been dating the 49-year-old woman who recently ended their relationship. Sergeant Jack Self said witnesses told investigators Kennedy returned to the woman's house in Birmingham on Sunday morning and lit her on fire after an argument. Authorities have said the woman suffered burns to her head, arms, upper body, and legs and is hospitalized in serious condition. According to jail records, Kennedy is being held on $60,000 bond.
It took 5 launch attempts and a delay from the opening of its last evening launch window, but the waiting paid off for rocket contractor United Launch Alliance. The contractor saw a Delta 4 rocket with an Air Force payload on its way to orbit after a Monday evening liftoff at Cape Canaveral, Florida. The launch had been scrubbed on several occasions since its first target last Wednesday. First, a technical issue forced a postponement. Then weather shut down 3 consecutive launch attempts last week and into the weekend. After a day off for launch teams to catch their breath, the countdown clocks rolled again yesterday. This time, they rolled all the way down, and patience was rewarded with the sight of the heavy lift vehicle taking its 2 satellite payloads into Earth orbit. The satellites are reportedly intended to help controllers stay sharp and keep a lookout for potential threats from other satellites. A third smaller satellite was also a part of this mission's payload. The small satellite is tasked as an experiment, reported by the Florida News Network.
From the Washington Times, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton raised eyebrows on CNN by claiming that former President George W. Bush actually brought out her patriotism and made her proud of her American roots. She also seemed to take a pot shot at President Obama's foreign affairs policies during an interview on the Fareed Zakaria GPS show on CNN. We have to go back out and sell ourselves. It is not to be taken for granted. What do we stand for, and how do we intend to lead and manage? How do we try to enlist the rest of the world in this struggle between cooperation and order, and conflict and disorder, which is really at the root of so much of what's going on today? And I don't think we've done a very good job of that. That was a quote, by the way, from Hillary Clinton.
Travis Weber, director of the Family Research Council Center for Religious Liberty, said Secretary of State John Kerry's claim that the United States is an unwavering advocate for the right to freedom of religion worldwide is simply not accurate. Religious freedom, that's not something this administration has championed. You look at violations of religious freedom around the world, including the case of Miriam Lebrihem, and this administration has pretty much been silent on those situations. So no, in terms of the United States being an advocate of religious freedom internationally, that is not accurate, according to Weber, reported by CNS News.
And from ABC News, in the wake of Facebook's recent admission of toying with users' emotions, another site revealed that it too likes to experiment on human beings and lie to them. OkCupid founder Christian Rudder published a blog yesterday detailing 3 recent experiments the online dating site performed that manipulated users' perceptions, including telling a small sample of couples that they were highly compatible when they were actually not compatible. The ultimate question at OkCupid is, does this thing even work? According to Rudder, referring to its algorithm for accurately calculating match percentage. In the back of our minds, there's always been the possibility maybe it works just because we tell people it does. Maybe people just like each other because they think they're supposed to. To test the theory, Rudder and his colleagues took pairs of bad matches, actually 30% matched, and told them they were exceptionally good for each other, displaying a 90% match. As hypothesized, the couples initiated contact with one another because they believed what the site told them.
It looks like Apple has finally changed its stance on Bitcoin. 6 months after Apple removed Bitcoin from its online app store, effectively preventing people from using the popular Bitcoin wallet app on the iPhone and the iPad, the tech giant has now allowed the app back into the store. This seems to be the first strong and real sign that they are ready to accommodate future digital currency development, the makers of blockchain said in a statement referring to Apple. It goes a long way to legitimizing Bitcoin and now provides hundreds of millions of iOS users access to Bitcoin applications, reported by Wired.
And real quickly from ABC News, have you ever seen a congressman snacking on a tin of sardines, or maybe a governor ordering a McChicken off the dollar menu? In Washington this week, that scene was a reality for 3 Democratic politicians who are taking the Live the Wage challenge. Representatives Tim Ryan and Jan Schakowsky joined former Ohio Governor Ted Strickland in taking the challenge and trying to live on a $77 a week budget. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, times of clouds and sun with a couple of thunderstorms around this afternoon, high 88 to 92. A shower and thunderstorm around early tonight, then partly cloudy and warm late tonight, low 72 to 76. For tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm crossing the area, the high 90 to 94. Thursday, more sun than clouds, perhaps an afternoon thunderstorm, high 89 to 93. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Are you a mom looking for inspiration? Are you creative? Mamazine.com is a lifestyle blog designed for the local mom to be inspired by the beauty of motherhood while staying current on local events and issues. Visit Mamazine.com today to find events around town, recipes, imaginative play ideas, and more. Mamazine.com.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful screen room or glass enclosure. We are Superior Aluminum and Design, a family-owned and operated business with 20 years experience in the aluminum industry, and we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. If you appreciate superior workmanship, call Superior Aluminum and Design at 817-8058 or visit us on the web at superiораluminumdesign.com.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Yeehaw! Howdy, folks. RL here to invite you to DQ. Dairy Queen is serving the crispiest, juiciest, most tasty chicken tenders, all beef chili dogs, and quarter-pound cheeseburgers on earth. And you get crispy fries, a drink, and an ice cream sundae of your choice for only $5. Remember, at DQ, you can lick their cones, but you can't beat their shakes. Dairy Queen, Silver Springs, where they always treat you like kings and queens.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Frederick's Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance.
We are The Source, WOCA.
Yes, 12 minutes before 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Let's continue with NewsBites. The next story, interesting and somewhat entertaining from ABC News. You know it's bad when robotic fan proxies are brought in to liven up the atmosphere. The long-suffering Hanwha Eagles baseball team has turned to a crew of robo-fans to help boost spirits at the South Korean team's games. In the past 5 years, the team has lost more than 400 times and has consistently ranked last in their league. Solution: bring in the robots. Hanwha supporters who just can't be bothered to come to the stadium can project their face onto a robot from the comfort of their own living rooms and even control some of the machine's movements. They can also hold up digital signs and coordinate group cheers. The signs out there out in the outfield, it's a pretty neat idea. It gets the crowd into it and really helps them get involved, said pitcher Andrew Albers in a video showing off the robots. While the team may be struggling, the intersection of fans and technology is a boon for the Eagles' most loyal human supporters. Imagine this: no more dealing with belligerent spectators, shorter queues at the concession stands, and prime parking spots. And you got to check this story out. There's the stands filled with robots, and each robot has on its face like a screen, and that screen, the picture on the screen is the face of the person sitting at home watching the game on TV. It's crazy.
Oh, gee.
Crazy stuff.
People with higher levels of brown fat have a reduced risk for obesity and diabetes. Unlike white fat, which lowers insulin sensitivity, researchers found that brown fat actually improves insulin sensitivity, blood sugar control, and fat-burning metabolism. This is a quote from Labros Sidousis, a professor of internal medicine in the Division of Geriatric Medicine medicine at the University of Texas Medical Branch at Galveston. This is good news for overweight and obese people. This is great news for people with insulin resistance and diabetes, and suggests that brown fat may prove to be an important anti-diabetic tissue, reported by CBS.
And from UPI News, tens of thousands of high-end baby monitors made by Mayborn USA have been recalled for a strangulation risk associated with their power cords. Massachusetts-based Mayborn USA has recalled 2 models of the Tommy Tippy monitor with movement sensor pad because children could conceivably pull the sensor's pad's cords into their cribs and wrap them around their necks. Roughly 25,000 of the recalled devices were sold in the United States since September of 2011, primarily through Amazon.com and Babies R Us if purchased new. The 3-part device is comprised of a monitoring device, a separate audio-video transmitter, and movement sensor pad meant to fit under the baby's crib. The pad connects to the AV transmitter via a 10-inch cord. The manufacturer fears poses a strangulation risk to grabby children.
A Texas homeowner showed off more than he planned after he posted a naked bathroom selfie on a listings website. The man, who wants to sell his Austin condo for $389,500, snapped himself in the buff in a photo of his bathroom. His face obscured by the flash, he appears holding the camera in a reflection of the mirror, entirely naked. A listing for a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 3-story condo at 5517 Oakwood Cove in Austin, Texas, takes real estate porn to a new low. The image was reportedly one of several he uploaded to website HotPads. Other pictures showed off 5517 Oakwood Cove's 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and decks. The listing, which was spotted by an eagle-eyed property hunter and sent to Gawker, has since been removed from the site, reported by the Daily News.
The Daily News does have the picture on their site, though.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm going there.
An estimated this is from CNN, an estimated 1 in 3 adults with a credit history, or 77 million people, are so far behind on some of their debt payments that their account has been put in collections. That's a key finding from a new Urban Institute study. It examined non-mortgage debt, including credit card bills, car loans, medical bills, child support payments, and even parking tickets. The debt in collections ranged from as little as $25 to a whopping $125,000, but the average amount owed was $5,200. Geographically, no area of the country was untouched.
The situation facing European Jewry is simply intolerable, unacceptable, and inexcusable. Israeli Jewish Congress President Vladimir Shutzker told MKs and foreign diplomats at a special session of the Knesset Immigration, Absorption, and Diaspora Committee yesterday, calling the rise in anti-Semitic incidents accompanying Israel's invasion of Gaza an SOS situation. Shutzker warned that if left unchecked, such behavior could lead to another European genocide. This is his quote: "Never before since the Holocaust have we seen such a situation as today." He said this as he referred to the continent-wide demonstrations by pro-Palestinian activists, a number of which have generated into violence and many of which have featured racist rhetoric, reported by the Jerusalem Post.
And this is from Florida Today. Details of an internal VA audit conducted in May of improper scheduling practices were released yesterday, shedding light as to why 112 VA medical facilities, including 6 in Florida, were referred last month to the agency's Inspector General for further review. Schedulers at the Department of Veterans Affairs Clinic at Eglin Air Force Base were told to improve wait times by changing the date veterans requested a medical appointment, so it appeared they were treated within 14 days of their request. Staff at the VA's medical center at Bay Pines Health Center in St. Petersburg were encouraged to align appointment dates requested by veterans with the actual dates they received medical care. About 1.5 million veterans live in Florida, and roughly 1/3 receive health care through the VA system. According to documents released yesterday, the audit found schedulers in Gainesville used outside logs and demonstrated a lack of understanding on recording veterans' preferences for appointment dates. House Veterans Affairs Committee Chairman Jeff Miller, a Florida Republican from Pensacola, said any VA administrator who ordered subordinates to purposely manipulate appointment data should be fired immediately. Members of Congress were briefed on the audit yesterday, the same day Miller and Senate Veterans Affairs Chairman Bernie Sanders of Vermont announced details of a compromise that would cover veterans who go to private doctors if they cannot secure an appointment from the VA within 30 days or live more than 40 miles from the nearest VA facility. Congress could pass the measure before they start their summer recess at the end of this week.
Michael Sheol, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer at Marketfield Asset Management, and Stephen Levy, author of In the Plex, discuss worries of a stock market bubble and the state of the tech industry. U.S. stocks were little changed after erasing an earlier loss as merger activity and optimism over corporate earnings offset concern over crises abroad before a Federal Reserve policy decision. Discount chain Family Dollar stores soared 25% after Dollar Tree agreed to buy it for about $8.5 billion. Trulia jumped 15% as Zillow agreed to purchase the company in a $3.5 billion deal. Tyson Foods climbed 2.6% as it agreed to sell poultry businesses in Mexico and Brazil for $575 million. Cummins fell 3.2% to lead declines among industrial shares, reported by Bloomberg.
And from the Miami Herald, a tropical wave attracting the attention of weather forecasters is still several hundred miles southwest of the Cape Verde Islands. If it develops into a tropical cyclone over the next week, it will be named Bertha. The National Hurricane Center said the disorganized system of cloudiness and thunderstorms about 3,000 miles east-southeast of Florida has a 70% chance of becoming a named storm within 5 days. The system is expected to encounter favorable conditions for further development as it moves westward at 10 to 15 miles per hour. It would be the third cyclone since the season started June 1st.
A 2009 law that raised federal taxes on tobacco products to discourage smoking triggered a market shift to pipe tobacco and large cigars, costing the U.S. Treasury billions in lost revenue. In some instances, it took little more than a label change to qualify for the lower tax rate. The Government Accountability Office study, which will be the focus of a congressional hearing today, found that Children's Health Insurance Program Reauthorization Act drove manufacturers and price-conscious consumers to gravitate to pipe tobacco and so-called large cigars because it taxed them at lower rates than cigarettes, small cigars, and roll-your-own tobacco, reported by MSNBC.
And from CNN, the family of Kendrick Johnson filed a wrongful death lawsuit against school officials claiming their lack of action led to his death at the hands of another student. Johnson's body was found in a rolled-up mat in the Lowndes High School gymnasium on January 11, 2013. His parents earlier filed a negligence lawsuit against the South Georgia School District, claiming it was negligent and violated Johnson's constitutional right to equal protection based on race. Johnson, who was 17 years old when he died, was African American. The new lawsuit accuses the Lowndes County Board of Education, its superintendent, and the high school principal of ignoring reports that Johnson was repeatedly attacked and harassed by a white student.
A new poll shows overwhelming support for medical marijuana in the Sunshine State. Quinnipiac University pollster Peter Brown says their Florida survey shows 88% of Floridians support the idea. Almost 9 in 10 voters think that the idea of legalization is a good one, and that support is across the board, young, old, male, female, all races. Very, very strong support. The highest level of support is among young voters at 95%. The lowest is among registered Republicans, reported by the Florida News Network.
Sorry, the music started a little bit too early. We do have to wrap it up, though. That's all the time we have for News Bites. Remember, we do this each weekday morning from 8:35 till 9. Gives us a chance to bring the news to you in short form. Gives you a chance to get on with your day without spending all day trying to hear the news. Robert, how many stories do we get in there today?
21.
21. All right, we'll take a little break. Carol Ann Baldwin is up next with You've Got a Garden.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. At least 22 civilians killed in eastern Ukraine as clashes continue between pro-Russian separatists and government troops. Meanwhile, the European Union may be running out of patience with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
They're expected to announce wider sanctions hitting Russia's finance, defense and energy sectors. This following a rare five-way video call between President Obama and the leaders of Germany, Britain, France and Italy.
Fox Radio, Simon Owen.
There's previously been a reluctance here to risk damaging Europe's close economic ties with Russia, but that was before the recent downing of a Malaysia Airlines plane in Ukraine, apparently by pro-Russian rebels.
In the Israeli-Hamas conflict, a senior Palestinian official who says he's speaking for Hamas, offering a 24-hour truce in Gaza, and two men accused of carjacking a woman in North Philadelphia, then plowing into a family, killing 3 kids, have been ordered held without bail. Fox News, we report, you decide.
I'm Lex Friedman. I run my own business, so I know from experience, hiring new employees can be tough. Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites, and now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 50-plus job sites, including Craigslist, LinkedIn, and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 200,000 businesses. And right now, our listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/info. That's ZipRecruiter.com/info. One more time, to try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Alice?
Yes, George.
I'm royalty at Devon's Self-Storage now on Highway 200 across from Hobby Lobby. It says so right here in this letter.
George, I read that letter too, and it's Devon's loyalty rewards. Pay 3 months in advance, get 5% off. Pay 6 months in advance, get 7% off. Pay 12 months in advance and get 10% off.
See, Alice, Devon's Self-Storage treats me like royalty. Just call them at 873-0777.
Yes, George, yes.